Live from the KNED studios on Electric Avenue in McAlester, Oklahoma, it's time for Running with the Herd, a weekly McAlester Athletics coaches show. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A of McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant.
At 8:30 on the dot here on your Monday, September 16th. We are already halfway through the month of September. This is Running with the Herd with your host, the voice of the Buffaloes, Brandon Green. Again, Running with the Herd brought to you by Chick-fil-A, McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant. As today we speak with cross country and head coach cross country, Phillip Neill. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So, actually, literally running with the herd today with cross country. How's the season gone so far?
It's gone really well. I feel like we're starting to get in shape, and our race is starting a little bit more difficult, but we've actually had quite a bit of success. I'm really proud of these guys and girls.
Good deal. From a coaching perspective, and this is the first thing I can think of when it comes to cross country, obviously, because it's the biggest, most notable thing. Are there any tips to increase a athlete's, I'd say, endurance to be able to? I mean, when you're training week by week by week, how do you increase athletes' endurance?
That's a good question. I'm trying to crack that code right here.
I think everyone is,
yeah,
right?
I'm kind of doing this myself, but really we just try to up our distance and make sure we're running that, and then also because there's a difference between getting faster running distance and then just kind of slogging through and having to walk the course. So a lot of things they don't like me doing is we do some long distance speed stuff like 400s, 200s. Sometimes it's just like a little bit heavier than a run. Sometimes it's a sprint. But we try to come out over try to do about a mile or so of that and then jog a little bit. But we try to do that 2 days a week. I don't know if it's working. I feel like we're having success with it. I don't think they like it, but yeah, upping their distance, which I know they don't like, and then trying to do some speed stuff in between.
So there's got to be a little bit of strategy too to cross country as well. I would think but does it go by the athlete? I mean, are you more of a sprint first, see how much lead you can get out to, or is it based on the athlete, just how far they can go, and then turn it up once you get towards the end of the race?
Well, it's definitely, and it's not just like track. You're on a flat track, and
right.
You gotta how you start out, how you finish, but you have and Riley said earlier before we got started. You got all kinds of terrain, you got holes, you got hills, and you just have to, prepare yourself for those hills. I tell them a lot of times they have a chance to go downhill to try to keep their speed, but coast and get some rest because they got to really get up that hill. Biggest thing is maintaining a good pace. What I'm learning to call I don't know if we figured it out yet, but a max aerobic pace. So basically go as fast as you can without using lactate, the races start out wide, and then they'll kind of bottleneck. Mm-hmm. And so I always tell them to try to get out in front because they're going to get bottlenecked by somebody, and they don't want to get bottlenecked by somebody slow. So that's just going to kill your momentum.
Right.
So I try to tell them to get out, and of course us getting in shape kind of helps that too. But they got to get out, and then they got to find their pace, and then of course we always want them to finish strong. We always want. And that's one thing, trying to find our pace because I think it was Gore. 7 out of 10 boys pretty much sprinted a 200 meter. And when I say sprint, I don't mean like it was everything they had left. I mean, they were sprinting it like it was a race. And I was like, we got a little bit more left in the tank. We need to do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, that also leads me, you mentioned earlier in that answer about how, have different terrain. Just how different can one location be from another, and how does that factor in to your race?
It can be night and day, and these guys can tell you a little bit about it. But we're going to Holdenville this weekend. We've already been there once on a short race, and it's kind of up and down. It's not the worst, but it definitely has a lot of up and down. And of course, it's a state park, so there's going to be holes and things you got to watch out for. Then we went to Gore, and Gore, I don't think Gore's a bad course to get to the end, and there's a pretty decent sized hill going around a softball field that they got it. It just kind of just gradually goes and goes and goes. And it's right at the end.
Oh.
And then,
that's hard to be able to finish.
Yeah, it's right at the end. You don't come downhill to about your last 200 meters. So
wow.
And they're all dying coming down it. And then we had.
I would just look like a Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I would look like. Have you ever seen those races with the cheese, where they throw the cheese down the hill? And that would be me. That would be me.
Yeah. And then Wilburton was fairly flat. Now Wilburton is kind of rough because it's all pumpkin patch, so you still have to worry about holes and things like that. But it was fairly flat, so they got to run on a flat terrain. So yeah, that could be night and day. And then of course, I don't know if you talked to Coach Singleton, but they're putting in a course for us.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be it's going to be a tough course, but it's going to be a really good course, especially with us practicing on it.
I think we're supposed to speak with him possibly maybe as early as next week. It could be in about another month, but we're going to speak with him for the first time on the show coming up momentarily. So everyone needs to stick around for that. Also, you mentioned your schedule in the immediate future. What does the schedule look like for the rest of the season for you guys?
Like I said, we got Holdenville this weekend. Then we'll take a weekend off, and we'll be preparing the next 2 weeks for I can't remember what it's called on the schedule, but we're having some coaches from 5A public schools called, and they want to do a 5A public school championship, and they're holding it at Carl Albert, I believe. And so basically, it's all the 5A schools that they can try to get in there and kind of do a little, I don't know, like a kind of playoff type deal to see what the public schools can do. And I'm not going to get into politics with private or public schools or anything like that, but there is some, I don't want to say dissension, but there is some disagreements, I guess you can say. And so I think there's a lot of public school coaches who want to see what we can do against each other, and I'm not going to get into politics of why that's different, but there's some differences there, and I'm excited about it. I hope these guys are really excited about it because it's a chance for them to go play, go run against other 5A teams and not have to worry about some of the private schools that we're going to run into that are really tough. So see where we stand amongst all of our public school people. So.
Okay. A couple more questions, and we're going to speak with some of your student athletes. For those that might want to learn more about the sport, what's something about cross country that a lot of people may not know that we haven't already covered?
Well, I don't know. I feel like everybody should know this, but it's first of all, you can't just go out and expect to be in shape in a week. That's not gonna work. It's a long chipping away, grinding process, and it takes a lot of mental toughness. We're doing the stuff that people do to be in shape for the other sport that they don't like to do. So we're coming out there and doing that. That's basically our living. Mm-hmm. And so it takes a lot of mental toughness to do that. And these kids have a considerable amount of drive to come out here and do that every day, especially with me barking at them and telling them they got to go, they got to push themselves, and they know what they can do, and they got to see what they can do. So, yeah.
Okay, and our last question here from McAlester fans wanted to keep up with y'all and how you guys do at meets. How can they do so?
Our schedule is posted on the athletic site. I think it might also be, I don't know if it's on, I know it's on the athletic site, but I'm not for sure. And if they can't find it, they can contact me. They can email me or email Coach Singleton, and I'll get on the schedule.
Okay, and that is our first break here with Running with the Herd with cross country as head coach Phillip Neill. We will be coming back with some student athletes after a word from our sponsors. This is Running with the Herd on KNED.
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236.
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the second straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
8:39 here in the morning on KNED. This is Running with the Herd, Cross Country Edition, Episode 6, brought to you by Reagan Auto, What About Bob's Restaurant, and Chick-fil-A McAlester. This is your host, Brandon Green, the voice of the Buffaloes, and we once again are here with Cross Country, and we have with us sophomore Wyatt Phillips and senior Riley Phillips, and no relation. No relation at all. And did you guys say were you guys serious? Like during the commercial break, I didn't know that.
No, I had never heard that.
that is
Yeah,
your
that was
last
your
name.
last name. I didn't know that till now.
And Riley was like, "Oh yeah, we're cousins." No, not really.
No, we're not.
All right, well, we'll start off with an icebreaker for you guys. I'm assuming first time on the radio.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, then this is a good way to get into it. What is your favorite flavor of Gatorade?
Mine has to be the dark blue one.
Dark blue. Okay.
I just like the flavor.
That's an interesting answer though, because a lot of people will go with the blue, maybe they'll go lemon lime. Dark blue is a different kind of answer there.
Honestly, mine is the dark blue too.
The dark blue. Wow.
Yeah.
So then we have the, are you guys sure you're not related?
Not related.
Have you guys ever had like a weird Gatorade flavor?
I've had like I don't know if it's called kiwi. It was like a really light green. It tasted like cucumber. I think it was cucumber. That was really bad.
That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. A lot of people are like, "Oh, cucumber's the best one." I said, "Cucumber's the worst." I was doing a remote during the summer of like 2016 at car sales, so whatever. And this salesperson of ours at the time, I was not with McAlester Radio. They wanted to come and bring me some Gatorade. Me and my guy that was doing the remote with, and I said, "Yeah, just bring me like some lemon lime or something." I got cucumber, and I'm drenched in sweat. I'm having to wear these khakis and a collared shirt in 105-degree weather. We were getting in the cars and turning on the cars just to start the AC, and we were pretending, we weren't pretending, we were doing the remote from inside the cars with wireless mics just to get some AC. So when I opened up this Gatorade bottle and I was expecting lemon lime, no.
I would have preferred water over that.
I would have preferred just to go at it alone. I would have preferred to die from the heat stroke. Riley?
Honestly, I don't drink a lot of Gatorade, so I don't have like a weird one.
Yeah, that's no problem. Water's, just as good, not better. Getting to know y'all a little bit more before we speak on cross country. Do you guys have a favorite subject in school?
Honestly, I love English. I have Sean Calloway. He's like one of my favorite teachers.
Fun fact about, almost said Coach, Mr. Calloway. His first year was my senior year. So I got to have him then, and he was one of my favorite teachers. Even though I only got to have him for 1 year, was still one of my favorite teachers at McAlester High School.
My favorite subject is probably history. I like learning about all the old things that happened in all the different places, although this year my history class is really hard, so it's kind of making me see a new perspective on my history. Because it's really hard now, so it's making me not like it as much.
I was going to say, so maybe it's not history anymore. Last one before we speak a little bit about cross country. What are your hobbies outside of school?
I play basketball a lot with my friends and stuff like that. And I go to church. I like reading my Bible a lot. So.
Okay. Riley?
Well, a big one for me is I do jiu-jitsu with my dad, and I love wrestling. Like, I'm always either working out or in the gym like that.
That's cool. And now let's go to cross country here. What made you want to join McAlester Cross Country?
Well, a lot of my friends run cross country, and sometimes we mess around and Coach gets pretty mad at us, but it's fun. So.
Well, honestly, Coach Skimbo and Coach Neill both kept asking me if I would like to join, and eventually I just came in for practice, and I actually really liked it. So I just stuck with it after that.
Good answers there. What are some personal goals that y'all set out for yourself this year for cross country?
I'd like to get top 5 in at least one meet for me.
Okay.
I think for me, at this point, I would really like to go to state because the last time that we had a meet, I got 5th in it, and I didn't expect myself to do that good. So I feel like if I just keep sticking with it and I keep pushing myself, like Coach Neil keeps telling me, then I can go to state.
Cool deal. And who are some people that you've looked up to or maybe role models that y'all have had to help you get to where you are today?
One of my teammates, Isaiah, he always pushes me in practice and in the game. So if I didn't have him, I'd probably run a lot slower. So that's good to have him.
Honestly, I would have to say my mom because I will get in the car and I will be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And then she'll be like, yeah, but you could probably do more. And then she will push me whenever we go to the gym or anything after that. And she'll always be the one pushing me to tell me I can do better.
That's awesome. And last question's always a fun one, no matter who we're interviewing. Cross country is one of the oldest sports in the Olympics, and we just had the Olympics finish up about a month ago. Mm-hmm. So what's an Olympic sport that doesn't include running towards the finish line that you guys think you'd be pretty good at? Riley was pretty much already answering some, but I'm interested to hear y'all's answers.
I don't know if I'd be too good at it, but I like playing tennis a lot.
Okay.
I went to state last year for that, so that was fun.
Don't sell yourself short. If you want to stay for it, that's not too shabby.
Honestly, it's a long shot, but I would love to try for wrestling.
Wrestling. So I was either going to think of that or what you said, Taekwondo, right? Or no,
No,
Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sorry.
Jiu-Jitsu's not in the Olympics yet.
It's not yet?
No, I would love to have it in
I
there.
can't believe it's not in there yet.
Yeah.
They had breakdancing, but not Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. I know, it's frustrating.
And by the way, yeah, breakdancing not coming to the LA Olympics in 2028. There's a good reason.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for coming on the air. And hey, for first time on the radio, great job, guys. No
Thank
reason
you.
to be nervous. You guys are fantastic. Again, this is Running with the Herd Cross Country Edition. Those were student athletes Riley Phillips and Wyatt Phillips here on KNED. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. One final break with head coach cross country Phillip Neill.
Looking for a trustworthy automotive shop? Come see our technicians at Reagan Auto. Our trusted technicians work hard to get your vehicle needs taken care of in a timely manner. Here at Reagan Auto, we provide oil changes, tires, alignments, along with transmissions and engines. Stop by and see us at Reagan Auto at 306 East Wyandotte in McAlester to get a quote, or simply call 918-715-3236. That's 918-715-3236.
What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
Chick-fil-A is a proud sponsor of Running with the Herd. When it's time to feed your herd, bring them to Chick-fil-A McAlester, voted McAllister's #1 fast food restaurant for the second straight year. Whether you are dining in, coming through the drive-thru, door dashing, or letting us cater your special event, we are ready to serve you. It is always our pleasure. Chick-fil-A McAlester. Go Buffs!
8:47 in the morning here on your Monday, September 16th. This is Brandon Green, bringing you Running with the Herd Cross Country Edition. It's episode 6 here as we go back to head coach Phillip Neill of cross country. Your student athletes did a pretty good job here.
Yeah, they did. Very proud of them.
Not too bad at all. So we asked your, again, players, runners this. Now we're going to ask you, what was your start in cross country? What made you want to become a coach?
Well, coaching in general, I was really into basketball. I lettered 4 years, and we had a pretty good team, and I've always been pretty competitive. And when I got into college, I really wasn't sure, and I just knew I wanted to be around sports, and I wanted to be a basketball coach. And I've done my share of coaching basketball. But the opportunity came. They needed a cross-country coach, and Coach Singleton just came up to me and asked me, and I said, sure, I'm already doing track. That's fine, and really had no idea. I mean, I knew a little bit about it. I thank the Lord that I was in Northeast Texas for about 5 years, and there was a guy that coached long distance and cross country, and I kind of got to know a little bit of him. Of course, some stuff he does, these kids would probably drop on me. So I mean, he's pretty extreme, but that's the basis I kind of had. And then of course with track and Todd coaching up with other people, I decided to try to get the mesh of what we needed to do to make ourselves the best versions of us we could be. But I'll be honest, I really enjoyed it, and I almost felt like I'm cheating a little bit because we go and run. That's our practice. We don't have to do a whole lot of skills. We just go out there, we get our practice in, and it's like about an hour 20 minutes, and we're done. And then we go. Our meets are in the morning. They start like at 9, and we're done by 12 at the latest. And so it feels like kind of cheating. And I enjoy these guys, even though they do mess around a little bit, and I have to tell them that no, we can't do that. But I love the fact that they're able to go have fun and enjoy the meet, and the meets are fun. They don't take very long, and we bring some water and some Gatorade and some stuff, and then I try to take them out to eat. Of course, it's cross country, so there's not a lot of places in some places, and so Riley kind of gets upset at me about that. But I
Thrown over to the travel stop.
yeah, that's kind of what it is. I think this next one since it's by Holdenville, we may go on into Holdenville and get something to eat. But anyways, no, it's a pretty good group of kids. I'm just really interested in trying to get more people out. I feel like we've had the most boys that we've. I think you was talking about Isaiah. Isaiah said this is the most boys he ever remembers having, and we're referring to Isaiah Vasquez. He's probably our best runner right now. Him and White probably compete for that, and Isaiah's worked really hard this year. But no, these have been these weeks are fun, and these kids don't like to practice, especially when we started practicing during the period. It was still a little bit hotter, and now up to distance on them, and so we're struggling a little bit, but they're coming out here running hard, and we have a good time. I think we really do. We just got to get the interest built. Which, by the way, we're looking for a fifth girl. If we get a fifth girl, we have a team, and our last. And I think I mentioned this about not saying on the radio, but our last track meet, cross country meet at Wilburton, our boys won. 4 people finished in the top 20, I think it was. Actually, I think 2 finished the top 10, and I know 4 finished the top 20, and that gave us the team,
cool,
the championship. Which I've only been in this for 2 years. They Wyatt and Isaiah has been doing it in junior high. That's the first one they can recollect in I don't know how long of actually winning a cross country meet. The girls showed out really well too. We had 3 of our 4 girls medal, 1 fourth, 1 fifth, and if we would have had a 5th person, we probably would have won that one as well. So if we can get any high school girls are interested, I know it's midway through, but we'll gladly take them and we'll put them to work, and we'll try to go see if we can make something happen in these 5A championships and regionals, and see if we can't go to state.
It is cool to hear that interest is growing, as you mentioned, with most boys you've had out in quite a while, and also, it seems like a great time too. So we encourage anyone who's been on the fence maybe about joining cross country to get with Coach Neill and see what you guys can do. Also, ask this to your student athletes: what Olympic sport outside of running ones would you want to compete in?
I'll be honest. I mean, there's a lot of them, but I don't think I could ever do it. But swimming, I always thought was cool. I always liked water, especially as I got older. I loved watching Michael Phelps just grow up in the Olympics. It's just odd to see an athlete like that just keep going and go. But really, when I was a kid, I remember the original Dream Team going to the Olympics, and the big deal. I think it was Barcelona, and that was just like another world for me. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, man, that'd be so cool to go play in the Olympics, play for your country, basketball. Because that's all I grew up, that's all it was basketball. So
right. Okay, I'll go to our next question here. If you could go on a run or walk anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Run or walk anywhere in the world. I love Colorado and the mountains, but I was talking to my brother just 2 days ago, and he said something about the Appalachian Trail. And I don't want to do the whole Appalachian Trail, but
pretty long.
Yeah. I think I told him, I was like, because I said something about maybe hiking Pikes Peak, and I thought that was like a stretch for him, and he was like, Appalachian Trail, and I was like, what? But he is right. I would like to, walk or run up there in that area. I think would be real, especially this time of year, would be beautiful. I think a cross country meet up there would be awesome right now.
Okay, our 4th and 5th. Our 4 out of 5 questions that we're going to ask you here. What is your favorite movie?
I don't know if I can list one.
That's okay. Oh, favorite genre of movie, though?
I'm going to tell you a favorite movie, but it's not the genre, but I'll tell you the genre.
Okay.
I'm kind of into like the fantasy, science fiction, action, comic book type stuff, superheroes. I like that stuff.
Okay.
But probably my overall favorite movie that I always go to, especially this time of year coming into October, Hoosiers.
Wow. Okay.
Hoosiers, yeah.
There we go. I wasn't expecting that when you were talking
I
about
know. So yeah, I'm big into Star Wars and Superman and all that stuff. But I think when it comes down to it, Hoosiers is probably my favorite overall movie.
Got one of the biggest Star Wars nerds right here, I promise you. And our last one. Who would win in a race, the Kool-Aid Man or the Michelin Man?
Oh, Kool-Aid Man busting through the wall.
He breaks through walls,
Yeah.
like brick walls. I mean, if
yeah.
he's got that much speed to be able to do that and not break the glass container he's in.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great answer. I like that. Coach, thank you for joining us today. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up here?
No, just any support that we've gotten, which we've gotten quite a bit of support this year, and I want to thank everybody who's come out and supported us. just keep on supporting us. And like I said, we're looking for more. We're looking for more athletes, especially some young ladies. Trying to get us some young ladies, so get us a team. I really feel like we're going to be competitive in the future. We're young, so and we can be competitive right now. Even though we got Riley is a senior, we can be competitive right now if we get the right people.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us today, and can't wait to speak with you in the future as well and see how your team does moving forward.
It sounds great.
All right, that was Running with the Herd Cross Country Edition. That was brought to you by Chick-fil-A McAlester, Reagan Auto, and What About Bob's Restaurant. Until next week, guys, don't just have a Buffalo day, or don't just have a great day.